You know what? If James Cameron can be lazy and repetitive with his characters and stories, then so can I with my jokes. Avatar: The Way of Water is not good.
I'll kill you! Why are you boring me? I'm right.
See, I used both there because this is movie number 2, Complex. Avatar: The Way of Water is the long-awaited sequel to the highest-grossing movie of all time. This film was once again directed by James Cameron and stars Sam Worthington, Zoe Saldana, Sigourney Weaver, Kate Winslet, and a whole slew of new cast members. And here, we follow Jake and his family as they seek refuge from the military as they've invaded Pandora once again. Their travels take them to the water tribes of Pandora where they learn their ways, swim with cool creatures, and pull a Titanic by the end. This was definitely not worth the wait at all. First, before I rip this film a new one, let me start out with the positives. The effects, of course, are some of the best in quite a long time. Everything from the character models to the foliage to the little bits of water that drip off their faces are so immaculately detailed, it honestly can be jaw-dropping at times. Couple that with the incredible 3D and you do get an experience that hasn't been seen in theaters in a very long time. The performances from everyone are once again really good and the action scenes are well staged and shot. The last hour, if you're someone that thinks these are well-written characters, can be surprisingly thrilling. But as someone that was not captivated by the effects in the world and found the characters to be just as shallow as the first film, I did not find it thrilling. Where the first film fell victim to every character feeling like a caricature and not an actual interesting character, here, they barely have a personality or character to speak of. Jake Sully, once again, has absolutely nothing going for him and is an incredible bore to watch the whole film. Neytiri, despite Saldana giving it her all, is sidelined in the film for practically no reason. Every time she's brought back into the film, it's almost as if they forgot she existed. While this film focuses more on Jake's kids than most other characters, I still don't know a thing about them that makes them stand out from the hundreds of characters that are written exactly the same as them. Now, I know what you're about to say. It shouldn't matter that they're written the same as other characters. Most films use ideas, stories, and characters from films prior, so it shouldn't matter here. And while I understand that argument, the problem with it is that this film does nothing new with its story, characters, or ideas that we've seen in films prior. None of the characters stand out from anyone in this film or any other film. They have no interesting personalities or character traits. There's nothing about them or their relationships with anyone that keeps me intrigued or feel emotional when shit hits the fan. Good performances does not equal a good or complex character. Once shit hit the fan at the last hour, I wasn't engrossed in what was happening at all because there was nothing about these characters for me to grow attached to. Had Cameron spent as much time with his characters as he did making his world look as pretty as it does, then I'd be singing a different tune. When it comes to the story, it's pretty simple, similar to the first one. But here, what infuriated me most is how so many plot elements and events happen because of easily fixable mistakes in the script that I'm shocked Cameron never noticed. I won't give away what they are for sake of spoilers, but the fact there were so many moments where I went, wait, why did they do that when they could have done this? Or why is that happening? That doesn't make any sense. Or if they were written better, then this choice would make more sense. With the way the story is, this should not have been 3.5 hours. Throughout the runtime, I never felt like I grew any more attached to this world or characters than I did the first one. There's a difference between characters making dumb decisions because it's how their characters are supposed to be, and characters making dumb decisions because of poor writing. The choices Jake and other characters make are not because they're dumb. Most of the time, they're portrayed as being really smart. The choice happens because of poor writing. If I'm constantly asking why, then this film is doing something wrong. I hate this movie. I really do. The effects are truly top-notch, and the way Cameron added to this world and explored it more was a bit refreshing and interesting compared to the first. This series has the potential to be something truly incredible, and somehow, Cameron just can't seem to understand that in order for these films to work, we need to care about the characters just as much as we do the world. If we're constantly asking ourselves, who was that, or not feeling anything when a character dies, then you're doing something wrong. At this point, I don't know if I can sit through 3 more 3+ hour movies in this world if this is how lazy Cameron is going to be with his characters. I can take a simple story, as long as there's interesting and well-written characters leading us through to simplicity. Mad Max Fury Road has an insanely simple story in a world that's not that fleshed out, but it's one of the greatest action films because there's a compelling lead at the center of the film. Throughout the film, we're engaged and engrossed in what's happening because George Miller knew if we didn't care about our lead, then the film wouldn't work at all. Were Jake Sully or Neytiri an actual compelling character, or any of the new ones he added, then this would be truly something special. As it stands, Avatar: The Way of Water is another pretty looking sci-fi film that believes it's saying a lot when in fact it's as shallow as the pool they filmed this movie in. If you're someone that truly loves this film, then more power to you, but if you're like me and you were hoping for something more, maybe save your time for Babylon instead. I'm going to give Avatar: The Way of Water a 4 out of 10.